Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is Jesse. I go by the Veteran Flipper on YouTube, and today is Tuesday morning. I had some pretty decent items that I shipped out yesterday. I was planning to record it, but I kind of did it so early enough in the morning I didn't factor in enough time to record. But maybe we'll go over a few of those sales. But today I got two sales going out. One of them's really small, and then the other one's kind of a big sale. First item that I got going on is down here on rack 9, shelf 1, down in the dungeon, and it's this brother laminator thing. It's brand new. It's never been used. Picked it up at a yard sale for $1 and sold it for $11 plus shipping. See, stuff like this, I can do $1 on it all day. You know, brand new. You might not get a whole lot for it. This isn't something that's going to sell for 30, 40 bucks, but it's super easy to list, super easy to ship, so you can pay $1 for that all day at a yard sale. But I've been doing a lot better a job of not paying up for items. And I was thinking about that with these castles that I recently just picked up. These had a few chips on them, and I could throw these up online for $100 each all day. And there will be watchers on them. Watchers, people that are interested in the item. And they'll save it. They'll save those items sometimes until you drop the price to something that they're actually willing to pay. And you think just because someone watches your item, this is something I never hear anyone talk about. Just because someone watches your item that you listed for $500 doesn't mean they'll pay anywhere close to that. They're interested in it. It's something that they probably want to add to their collection or whatever it is. And that doesn't mean they're going to pay anywhere close to it. Because you'll find yourself dropping the price, dropping the price, dropping the price, dropping the price, dropping the price. And it's still not selling, still not selling. Actually, the next sale that I got going out, that's exactly what happened. I picked up some Disney Big Figs for about $250 each. Mickey Mouse, he already sold. And made some pretty decent money on him. And then I picked up Peter Pan, who's dressed up as Captain Hook. Paid $250 for him, and I listed him originally high, like $800. I want to say $800, and got those watchers, the people that were interested in him, and there was a few of him listed. I think no, there was one or two listed. Now there's actually even more, but they're all listed a little bit higher than that, $900,000, a little bit higher than I listed mine, because I think I listed mine for about $800 originally. And over time, I dropped the price, dropped the price, dropped the price. And those watchers, they stuck around that whole time. They wanted the item, but they just weren't willing to pay for it anywhere close to that price. Peter Pan is actually right here. And this shelf right here is pre-packaged. And I packaged the heck out of this thing. I really did. I can feel this box right now, and it's solid. Solid. Like that thing, I could probably sit on this thing right now. That's what you gotta do, especially when you see the way that they handle your packages sometimes. But this thing is packaged very solid. So this is something that you almost never hear other people talk about, is when you have like that rare item, that more rare item that people want. Sometimes you really don't know what you're gonna get for it. But this situation right here, I talked them down to $250 for Mickey Mouse that I paid, and I talked them down to $250 for this piece, and they agreed to the price mainly because I was buying both of those for a combined $500. And I think I bought something else, but could be mistaken. But I talked them down to that price, and that was the lowest they were willing to go down to. And to be honest, I thought that I was going to get way more for that. It didn't happen. And the thing is Tinkerbell sits on Peter Pan's shoulder, and usually he's broken or snapped off. And I think, and they're missing the wings on Tinkerbell, which I believe mine was too. But my Tinkerbell was still there. And I packaged this thing in such a way to where I created outward pressure, I guess if you will, on Peter Pan, so the little Tinkerbell wouldn't be touched by any packaging material, bubble wrap, or etc. So I think it's packaged extremely well, but I ended up only getting $400 plus shipping for Peter Pan after it was listed for quite a while. So that's why sometimes you got to try to keep your cost of goods as low as you can, because you just never know what you're going to get. If I would have got $600 for that, I would have been a lot happier as far as the profit margin. But after fees, I'm really not making a whole lot of money on that. I did the math on it because I accepted that offer when I was at Zion soccer game yesterday, and the total profit after fees and everything came to $91. So $91 on a $250 investment. Not the best, but I've been sitting on it for a while, and I don't want to. I've been listening to other people talk lately. Actually, don't usually give a shout out to other people because I like to watch them for quite a while before I start talking about them on my channel. But I was watching Cincinnati Flipper, also known as Cincinnati Picker, and I kind of love this logic that he has when it comes to not getting married or tied to your inventory. And I tell you what, I also my opinion is you just might have not have found the right buyer. So you also don't want to sell stuff like too quickly either. I don't know. That's my opinion, especially when you have a rare item like that. Not everyone's just gonna come along and pay $400-500 for an item like that. So you can't always just think, oh, I'm gonna sell it in a week or a month. Sometimes you gotta sit on it for a couple months. But that's just my opinion. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Is I wanted to get into a completely different strategy for going through as far as selling my inventory, because I have had items that I've had listed for a couple years, and I really want to get away with that and go with a completely different structure. It was actually $96 profit because I ended up making $5 on the shipping. Sometimes you win on shipping, sometimes you lose. All right, and for me, that means selling stuff cheaper, But to sell stuff cheaper, you have to get it cheaper. And I got 2 of these little antique German Steins going out. And the best part is they are going out to the same buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and package these together right now so I can send them an invoice. But one of those, I believe this one, he paid $16. And this one was like 25 or 26 bucks. So I'll send him an invoice. That way he can go ahead and make his payment. Okay, so we got our 2 items right here. I got this envelope right here to block the buyer's personal information. And you select the items that you want to combine, and then up here it says to combine purchases. And you just click that, and then it'll bring you to this screen right here. I'm trying to block out the buyer's information there. But it's got 2 orders in it, the subtotal, and then you just go to send an invoice. And right here where it says select additional shipping option, you can go ahead and click that. It'll bring you to a shipping calculator. You put in your zip code, their zip code, the weight dimensions of the package after you obviously combine the orders, and it'll give you the cost, and then you put that cost that it'll cost right there, and that little box right there, and then you go ahead and send the invoice right down there. Send. All right, so it's now the next day. So I was looking back at the footage from yesterday, and I don't think I said it, but those German Steins, I actually got those out of a storage unit that I honestly did not want to do. That was, holy man, I want to say that was a while ago, like maybe 3 years ago, and I had 2 totes of stuff that it just, to me, it didn't seem like it was eBay inventory. So I threw up these totes for a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace, and I never got any messages about them. It's so crazy how I went from making really good money on Facebook to absolutely none. So I honestly thought for the longest time, and I still kind of think it, that my account's like shadow banned or something. I don't know. Because I was consistently, the same stuff I've been selling for years. I would consistently be able to sell 1,000 all the way up to even $2,000 a month on there to getting absolutely no messages. And yeah, it really discouraged me from even wanting to sell on there altogether. And I've been hearing people that are killing it over there. I don't know. It hasn't been working for me. But I don't think I said it about the Steins. I got those out of a storage unit about 2.5, 3 years ago. I got nothing into them. Now I already made my money on that storage unit. And very awkward situation. The person that owned the storage unit that wasn't paying their bill they ended up running into me there, and super awkward, by the way. If you ever had that happen to you, it is awkward. But at the end of the day, like, you paid for this stuff. That's just how I look at it. But I was very nice to the guy, and I can kind of tell he was eyeballing some of his stuff in the unit, and I went ahead and let him pretty much take a lot of like the big furniture I didn't want to deal with, and he seemed like he was perfectly fine with dealing with it. So I gave him a bunch of his stuff back or whatever. There was a lot of furniture in there. Pretty much gave it all away. I sold a few of the furniture pieces. I made a few $100s on the furniture, but I was mainly the small stuff that I was going after. And inside there was some antiques, and yeah, I'm just now getting around to some of them. Those two that sold on auction, those were the only two that I actually picked out of that tote, and I decided to sell on eBay. The rest of this stuff didn't really seem like eBay worthy stuff, so I'm actually going to be dropping that stuff off at an antique booth down the road from me and just giving it away to someone that specializes in that stuff. So what I was talking about, I can't grab this with one hand. Let me see. Should I risk this? Look at that. So what I was saying yesterday, which for you was actually like only a few minutes ago, was talking about making just really big changes in my eBay business. And one of them is just, I've been really thinking a lot the last, like, I would say couple weeks, maybe even couple months, about just really changing a lot of different things in my eBay business. And one of them is like, when you get stuff like this so cheap, I think I got $3-4 into these or whatever. You guys just saw me pick these up in that last video. I in my mind, I thought these were like maybe $15-20 because that's what I sold them for. But the last time I sold these, they were missing like a lot of the bees on there. And I think the honey pots were missing. There was like a few missing honey pots. And I only got $15-20, and I forgot that I had sold these, but they're in way worse condition. And these are in very excellent condition. They're not even missing a piece on these bookends. And I listed these for like $70. And to be honest, I'm to the point now, I probably would have accepted, I'm thinking in my head, like maybe I should be willing to accept like $40-50. Somebody offered me $60. Of course I took it. But that's what I want to get into. It's just like, when you only paid a couple dollars for something, I just feel like I need to get more in a mindset of accepting way less. And, if the going rate for an item is consistently like $60, $60, then maybe hold out and wait to get the 60. But I don't want to wait forever to get all the money anymore. I'd rather get, the fast nickel compared to the slow dime. And that's where I want to start trending more towards. That was the only sale that actually going out today. I did sell actually one other thing. I shipped it very early this morning. It was these like vintage crystal knob doorknobs, sold for $11.95. That was the only thing I was required to ship today, so I went ahead and packaged those very quickly this morning and threw them in my mailbox because I bubble wrapped them, threw them in a poly mailer, and I wanted to get them in the mailbox before the mailman came. So look out for stuff like that, especially old like vintage brass, accessories and stuff like that. Especially like even like the what did I just sell like 2 weeks ago? I just sold those 12 or 16 or something like that of those brass dresser handles or whatever. Sold that for really good money. I picked up the whole thing at a yard sale for $2 and sold it for like $40 or something like that plus shipping. So definitely look out for that. Those doorknobs that I shipped out this morning, I had maybe like $2 into those. So really not too bad, and it was super easy to list and ship and everything. So in closing, this is just a few things that I've been thinking about as far as making changes to how I've been doing eBay. And the one big one I've been really thinking about is shipping. I've always done calculated shipping. I've always said that. And it's just a really good feeling knowing that you sold something for $100 plus $35 shipping. The buyer paid $35 for shipping, and then it costs you $35 for shipping. Does that always work out? Absolutely not. And I feel like for me, I'm like 99% of the time I'm spot on with charging shipping because I've done it so many times with all types of items, small, medium, and large items. I would definitely consider myself an expert in it. As far as charging and packaging and all that, mainly because I've done it so many times.
that I've had the reps and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to charging shipping and when it comes to actually packaging the items. And I've seen people that I've watched over the years that have been selling for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're scared of shipping items that I've shipped 100 times. So me personally, I feel like I have the experience to do it, but I also feel like me charging calculated shipping, it's been holding me back from potentially getting more sales. And I mean, I don't know. It seems like the writing's been on the wall, and I've heard eBay talk about it numerous times, and other people, other resellers talk about it numerous times as far as flat rate shipping. You get a boost in overall views to your listings, and then free shipping, you get even more of a boost. And me personally, I put a lot of thought into it. I don't think I would ever want to go to the flat rate shipping model, and the reason why is the reason why I'm talking about making these changes to shipping overall is because I want to increase my views. And I just said yes, that flat rate shipping will do that. But if I'm going to go with flat rate shipping, the reason why I don't want to go with flat rate shipping is if there's going to be times where I lose money and make money, I would rather just either stick with what I'm doing now and charge calculated shipping or just go all in on free shipping. And like I've done free shipping a few times. When it comes to items that everyone's got it listed for $100 free shipping, I'm gonna list mine for $100 free shipping. If that makes sense. If you keep seeing all those sold cons for $100 free shipping, that's how I'm gonna do it. I've done that plenty of times, but overall, I've always gone with calculated. And I'm thinking about going more towards a free shipping model so I can have a faster sell-through rate for my entire store. Because I have items that fly off the shelves, and I have items that sit here for 2-3 years, and frankly, I just don't want to do that anymore. So, but I've always heard my whole reselling career that you should never make changes during fourth quarter, especially like we're literally starting fourth quarter like right now. So I don't plan on jumping straight to that now, but I think I'm gonna probably start rolling that out around January, February. That's one thing that has been on my mind, and the other thing is sending out even more aggressive offers. I feel like lately, even the last like week or so, I've been sending out even more and more aggressive offers. And sometimes I feel like people are biting at it, and sometimes they're not, because I just don't think they're the right buyer. If you have an item priced at $500 and you keep sending out offers for or $400 or $450, and no one's biting at it, and you send out an even more aggressive offer for $250, and they still don't bite at it, they're probably just not the right buyer. And I strongly believe that. I always will. I've said that for literally years now. Like sometimes you just gotta wait on the right person. The right person is not necessarily the guy that's gonna give you $100 for the $500 item. The person that's willing to pay, $400 for your $500 item, they might not come around looking for that item for 6 months. That's just I've always felt that way. I've always believed it. It's just I want to figure out a way that I can get close to what I'm looking to get. Maybe not quite as much, but just way faster. Maybe I don't get $400 for a $500 item, but maybe I get, $300, but just way faster. And then eventually, after a couple months pass, maybe I'll be willing to even accept like $250 for a $500 item. Instead of trying to wait for that perfect buyer or the right buyer, I just go ahead and accept a lot lower amount, especially if you only got like $100 into it, accept the $250 and just move on. But yeah, I've been rambling here, but I've been really thinking about this a lot lately, is not getting so attached and married to your inventory, making some changes to how you do eBay, like either shipping or pricing or just anything that can possibly increase the overall sell-through rate of your store. I've been really just thinking about what can I do to do that, and that's one thing I'm really strongly considering doing starting first quarter of next year. So, but that's gonna do it for this video. If you got anything from the video, please consider smashing the like button. Please consider subscribing. I was all over the place in this video, but I've had a lot on my mind, and just a lot going on. And I'm really thinking about making those changes though, and it's really just been like kind of eating at me, because I'm like, sometimes you just don't see the results that you want to see, and you're just like, you gotta make changes. You know, they don't have to come drastically. Like I said, I'm probably gonna hold off on making those changes, but I think I'm very strongly considering going to a free shipping model, even though you also see me sell pretty big items. So it's just making sure that I charge the right thing. But all right, that's enough of that. Make sure you smash the like. See you in the next one. Peace.